So Google and Microsoft are in a pretty heated battle. Not I wouldn't say heated. It's a battle anyway for AI supremacy. So if you remember back in the day when as the internet was starting to burgeon, there was Netscape before Google, and then you had Microsoft Netscape, and Microsoft just crushed Netscape. This article here, this is what's Tech World says it here? Yeah, Tech News World kind of talks on that premise. So I'm going to read this out. This is it's one of the first times I probably read an article from these guys, so I'm not sure how good they are, but let's see how it goes. So did Microsoft just become the new Netscape? While Mark Anderson and I disagree on what happened when Netscape went under, my perception was that Netscape blew its considerable lead on Microsoft in browsers by not adequately protecting it and not realizing the power of Microsoft marketing back then. So like I said, it was kind of like if you look back in history, there was like VHS beta. There was the fight between that. There was Blu-ray HD fight between them. What else do we got? I mean, we're continuously in the what do you call it? Apple versus Google or as far as like smartphones, right? You've got you've got that battle. I mean, neither are going anywhere, but a lot of times what happens with these two sort of juggernauts going at each other, one ends up eating the other basically. So one goes away, like I said with Blu-ray and HD just went away. It was doing well and then suddenly it's gone. That's kind of what happened with Netscape. Microsoft's marketing capabilities have declined sharply since then. While it blindsided Google with Copilot on search, Microsoft failed to market the advantage successfully or advance it significantly enough to avoid a huge pushback from Google. That pushback happened last week at Google I/O, and it was an impressive showing. Another weakness for Microsoft is that Google has focused on smartphones as the vehicle for its AI efforts, while Microsoft is focused on PCs. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Everybody's got a smartphone in their hand. Nobody's carrying around a PC. Google's path is probably the better one. As we move from text to voice interface and include ever more capabilities for the AI to see, it makes more sense to have it in a tool that is always with you rather than just on your desk or in your laptop bag. Much like Microsoft's was with Netscape, I think Google's approach hits harder while people want AI to be, or where people want AI to be. Sorry, my reading's weird. Microsoft build is this week. I'm not expecting a smartphone push, but you never know. Microsoft doesn't go down easy, so calling the winner will have to wait until next week at least. By the way, if you want to see something that is both fascinating and just a bit freaky, it's talking about a video. So artificial intelligence. AI is changing incredibly rapidly. Today, most people access AI either through an application like Grammarly or from the cloud through a browser interface. That's a problem if you want to use the same AI interface while away from your desk. The vendors believe, and I agree, that you'll prefer AI to be with you wherever you go, not just wait for you to be back at the office. Exactly. So like you've got this little computer in your pocket, and if AI can interface with what you're doing with your phone, it's obviously going to kick the shit out of anything that's doing it with your PC. I mean, you can have the two different companies doing the two different things, but if you want to compete against each other, the way to compete is with the smartphones, obviously. In addition, much like the changed desktop hardware significantly when we went from mainframes and command line interfaces to graphical user interfaces, mice and PCs, so too do I expect we'll change our endpoints when we move from the PC interfaces and accessories to an AI interface that is more like another human than like how we've worked with PCs in the past. So basically it's referring to some kind of interface that you'd use, maybe like, almost like the Google Glass or whatever that they had, something like that, where it's like something that you wouldn't have to now do things. You're just thinking it and it's interfacing with what you want, almost like a retinal scan or something like that, where you can actually just sort of direct your eyes to where you want to look and it'll move things around. So that's how I would think that the interfaces will change, obviously. This change suggests that even smartphones may be at risk, but they are close to where we'll end up than the PC is at this point. The Humane AI Pin is an attempt, for instance, to find what the future device would look like. And like early smartphones, it isn't very close to what people want yet, but it is evolving much like smartphones did. So I wouldn't write Humane out just yet. Qualcomm's role in the AI market. That's funny, Qualcomm. You never really hear about Qualcomm anymore. One of my first phones was Qualcomm. It's funny. This positioning puts Qualcomm in a really interesting spot because Not only is it the leading provider of smartphone AI technology, but its Snapdragon X also currently leads the market in PC AI technology. It's rumored that Qualcomm will be taking center stage at Microsoft Build this week. So, of all the high end chip vendors, Qualcomm is the best positioned in both platforms to drive the client side of AI development. At the same time, NVIDIA, I should say, remains the most powerful technology provider in the server, high performance computing, supercomputer, and workstation segments. Qualcomm and NVIDIA have never gotten along very well, but if they ever hooked up, if they're hooked up, they could own the entire AI wave. The speculation might add another interesting dynamic to the mix, given AMD and Intel are ramping up AI efforts impressively. Right now, both Google and Qualcomm have a significant advantage in the AI race. However, the race is very early, and I expect leadership to shift a lot. It might eventually go to some vendor like OpenAI, even though Microsoft just announced an impressive internal AI effort similar to what it did with Spyglass in the browser wars. So it could flip the script this week at Build. That show will be worth attending. So Build is Microsoft's show. Just so you know, I should have maybe I should have said that back when I first brought it up. But it's like their little showcase show. But yeah, so what it looks like here is that Microsoft might be a little behind right now. I don't know. They're gonna have to play catch up. I don't know if this is it's early, right? Obviously, it's early, but it's kind of like first in. So if they're a little behind now, and Google gets the hop on them again, you know, this might be the sort of the death throes of Microsoft. And I can't say I'd be crying about it because realistically, the head of that ship for a while was was a how do I put this? Was an alien that probably doesn't have the betterment of the humanity in his forefront. So we'll leave it at that.